Hey, what's up guys? Pchild here, and I want to talk today about the new Aegis of Valor set that was introduced in Diablo 3 patch 2.6.7. It's been about 3 or 4 days since the patch dropped, and we've had a little bit of time to play around with it. So I want to take some time to show you guys a couple of the variant push builds that you can try to run during Season 19. Now, I'm assuming the season is going to start on the 22nd, which is exactly a week from today, the day this video was made. There is a possibility that they could have some small balance adjustments put in place before the season goes live. But if they don't make any changes, this is what we're going to expect in Season 19. And let me tell you, this set is super powerful. So there's a couple different variants that you can use to push some greater rifts with this set. I'm going to showcase 3 of those and let you guys make judgment for yourself which one you want to play, what you like, and I'll give you my opinions on what I like. But before we jump into the video, I want to take a quick second to shout out my sponsor, GT Omega Racing. If you guys are in the market for a new gaming racing chair, check out GT Omega Racing. Use the code ThePchild at checkout. Save yourself 5%. They make awesome gaming racing chairs. Breaking news, I think as I was making this video, there seems to be an announcement of a balance patch coming for Season 19. So we'll have to see if this set stays as powerful as it is. I imagine it is going to get nerfed a little bit, but the mechanics of it and the gear and the items shouldn't really change. It's probably just going to be a damage reduction on the modifiers to adjust the set. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That announcement was made after I had recorded most of the video and most of the footage, so take that with a grain of salt. We'll have to see what exactly happens in the future, but again, this is still probably going to be top tier and we'll be able to use it for Season 19. So without further ado, let's get in there and check it out. My favorite of the Aegis of Valor push builds. This one is going to be a lot more active of a play style. You're going to cast your Heaven's Fury, and it's more controlled. The damage time, the damage windows, it's all based on your actions. Whereas the other variant I'm going to show you in a little bit is more of a passive play style, where your damage abilities are auto cast for you when you block. So I'm going to put some gameplay footage of me doing 120s in both of these different sets. I was able to push higher than that, but I just kind of wanted to compare a 120 of each one so you guys could see the differences and kind of see the play style changes. But in the first build, with the one that uses Pig Sticker and is active, I'm going to go over real quick the gear that you're using. So you have your 6-piece Valor equipped. You're going to use Captain Crimson's belt and boots. You're going to have Pig Sticker. You're going to have the Shield of Fury. You're going to have Bracers of Fury. You're going to have Flavor of Time, which is super juicy, and I'll talk about that in just a second. You're going to have Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac and Convention of Elements. As far as your legendary gems, Gogok of Swiftness, Pain Enhancer, and Bane of the Trapped. And then in your cube, you're going to run Fate of the Fell, Stone Gauntlets, and Royal Ring. So I'll go over really quick why I chose the pieces that we have here, the synergies that they have. Royal Ring is going to allow you to equip your Captain Crimsons and get your 3-set bonus. Plus, you're going to get your Valor set, 6-piece set, only having 5 pieces equipped. It's kind of a no-brainer. Stone Gauntlets increases your armor, but it reduces your movement speed and your attack speed. And you can negate the negative effects of that with your Accurate's Champion. And on Accurate's Champion, we're going to run the Prophet rune, which is also going to give you additional armor while you have that active. So these two things kind of synergize together to give you a lot of toughness. Your Fate of the Fell is going to give you additional raise when you cast Heaven's Fury. Pretty straightforward what that does. It's a straight damage increase. And then your Convention of Elements during your Holy Cycle, you're going to pump out some insane damage. Your Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac is going to be used so you can get 100% uptime on your Accurate's Champion. As you're hitting things, it's going to lower the cooldowns of all of your abilities, which is going to just allow you to use them more frequently. And then as far as your passives, I'll go ahead and pull up my skills and passives. So Fist of the Heavens with the Fisher rune, Heaven's Fury with Fires of Heaven, Iron Skin with Flash, And the reason that flash is important is while you take damage with Iron Skin, your movement gets increased and you can also run through enemies The only downside to that is when you get a shield pylon, you have no way to go through enemies, and you'll have to like plow your way through them or kill them with a shield pylon active. Not the end of the world, but that is one of the negative effects of it. But Flash is amazing, must have in my opinion. So Laws of Valor with Unstoppable Force, and the cool thing about Laws of Valor with Unstoppable Force is it reduces the wrath cost of all your skills by 50% for 5 seconds. And then if you pick Long Arm of the Law, it increases it by 5 more seconds. So for 10 seconds, we have a 50% wrath cost reduction, which then if you go look at your Captain Crimson set, damage taken is reduced by a percentage of your resource cost reduction. So while your Long Arm of the Law is increasing that damage and you have your Laws of Valor up, you're going to take reduced damage for 10 seconds. Pretty cool synergy between those abilities. Judgment with Deliberation, it's going to immobilize the things for 10 seconds. And then immobilizing them, Judgment with Deliberation is going to proc your bracers. So if you look at your bracers of Fury, it says Heaven's Fury deals up to 400% damage. Mine are pretty crappy, they're only 322. Up to 400% damage to enemies that are blind, immobilized, or stunned. And so that immobilization from the Judgment with Deliberation for 10 seconds, you're going to do up to 400% extra damage. It also works on Rift Guardians. So you can Judgment and freeze the Rift Guardians in place. And then while they're immobilized, they really can't move. You can take a small step back out of melee and you can still hit the Rift Guardian and they can't hit you back. So that's a pretty cool trick that you can do with the Judgment. Accurate's Champion with Profit. I mean, again, like I said, this is pretty straight up. It's just going to reduce the damage you take. This Accurate's Champion gives you tons of benefits. Immune to CC for your Stone Gauntlets and things like that. For passive, you want Fervor, Finery, Long Arm of the Law, and Holy Cause. And so these things are just going, you know, Long Arm obviously synergizes with Laws of Valor, extra strength for your gems. Your attack speeds increased and cooldowns are reduced with your one-handed weapon, which you're going to use Pig Sticker. So that is awesome. And then Holy Cause, 10% damage increase. And then if you do holy damage, you heal for your percent of your life. Okay, guys, the first variant I'm going to talk about, again, it doesn't change a lot, but it drastically changes the play style of this. We have Ivory Tower now equipped in the cube, and what that does is when you block, it's going to shoot Fires of Heaven forward every time you block. There is no internal cooldown on this, so if you block 15 attacks, you're shooting 15 Fires of Heaven. Kind of crazy. You're running a Quill in the cube, just straight damage reduction is why we're taking that. And then Royal Ring, again, the same thing, so you can equip your Captain Crimsons and your Valor. So your Crimsons and your Valor pieces all stay the same. Your jewelry slots are going to switch out. You're going to put in a Justice Lantern, a Traveler's Pledge, and a Compass Rose. And then for the gems, you're going to use Esoteric, Gogok of Swiftness, and Bane of the Trapped. So Esoteric is again going to give you more damage reduction. Cubed or paired with the Quill, it's going to give you quite a bit of damage reduction. The Gogok is there mainly for the resource cost, for the cooldown reduction, and then Bane of the Trapped is just straight damage. So the main differences are with Fate of the Fell equipped and Ivory Tower in the cube, you're no longer going to cast your Heaven's Fury as your damage. I mean, you're going to throw it on the ground. We're actually going to take a different rune of Heaven's Fury, and we're not going to do the shotgun shots anymore. We're going to go with the Blessed Ground because it's going to burn enemies that are in it. So I'm going to go over the skill changes real fast. So as you can see, Blessed Ground deals 1,500% weapon damage over 5 seconds to enemies that walk through it. So it's kind of just a passive on the ground thing, but it is holy, so it is going to heal you as that's on the ground. You have your Fissure. Again, this is going to give you a lot of wrath regeneration. Flash, this stays the same. Unstoppable Force stays the same. We switched the Judgment rune to Resolved because that's going to give us increased critical hit chance on enemies that we judge. And then we have Accurate's Champion with Profit. That stays the same. You're going to change some of your passive skills. Heavenly Strength, because you need that two-hand weapon in your main hand and you need to have your shield on. So we're going to pick Heavenly Strength, Finery, Hold Your Ground, and Long Arm of the Law for our passives. And then again, the play video for this is up in the corner. You can kind of see that you no longer run around and actively cast. You're just going to group enemies up, block their attacks, damage them back from your Ivory Tower shield. The big drawback or downside to this build, in my opinion, is that you can't actively control your damage. You have to get hit, you have to block attacks in order to deal damage. So mob types, mob density, and then especially the Rift Guardian you get can greatly influence the Rift. You can have a GG Rift and then get the wrong Rift Guardian and you're gonna fail. So this build is a lot more subject to RNG than the other one, and so I feel like you're gonna fail more pushes with this than you would if you were running the other set. But I feel like if you had the perfect Rift, this set is pretty good. It could probably outpush the other. It's kind of a play style thing. I personally prefer the other set more just because I feel like you have more control over your Rift and it's less RNG based, and I'm not a huge fan of RNG, but I do feel like this set is going to show on the leaderboards and people are going to push extremely high with this Ivory Tower Valor set. And then there is one more variant to this. It's a very similar variant, but I want to showcase it too real quick. And so the main difference we did with this is we're not running a quill, we're running stone gauntlets again, and then we're going to run the invigorating gemstone. So the invigorating gemstone is going to negate the effects of the stone gauntlets. So that's awesome, you don't have to worry about it. But what you get with this is you're taking provoke with hit me to get a 50% increased block chance. And so the big difference between this is you're no longer going to have long arm on the law, you're no longer going to have your laws of valor. You're really going to up that block chance to get a lot of Heaven's Fury procs to go off. This is just like I said, another variant of it. I'm not sure which one I like more. This one with the block chance does seem to be a little bit tankier to me. It felt a little bit tankier, but I didn't spend hours and hours and hours doing rifts. I only did a few runs with this and then a few runs with the other. But again, here's another variant and I'll show it on screen. So it's the same jewelry. You're really just switching out the gem. You're switching out and you're really switching out the stone gauntlets for the Aquill and that gemstone. So a couple skill changes on this one as well. Fires of Heaven is going back to Heaven's Fury, still using the Fisher rune. Provoke with hit me, Iron Skin with flash. Judgment, we take the debilitate rune, which this is going to reduce the damage that enemies deal to you by 40% while they're standing in your judgment. And profit still. Heavenly Strength, Finery, Hold Your Ground, Holy Claws. So debilitate, the judgment rune, you could kind of switch with either of the Ivory Tower. So it's actually with any of the sets, you could switch your judgment rune to what you feel is the best. If you feel like you're getting wrecked, you could try the debilitate. If you want to just have increased damage for a longer duration, you could take the deliberation and immobilize them for 10 seconds to get that 400% bracer proc. You could take resolved and get just 8% crit while you judgment. So there's a lot of choices that you have with your rune for judgment, and all of them I think would be viable. It's more of a play style choice. So I am going to switch to what I think is my favorite. I'm going to do a run real quick, let you guys check it out. I'm going to go to the Valor set, and for this run, what I'm going to do is I am going to remove my Paragon and drop my Paragon down to 800. So you have 200 Paragon, so 2, 4, 600 Paragon in just your passives, and then we're going to spend 200 Paragon here. All right, you guys can see that I have 200 now points in my core. I put 28 into movement speed to get my max movement speed. I put 92 into my strength and 80 into my vitality. I only have 500k HP, which is pretty low, but we're going to try this. We're going to try to go into a 110 and see how that works out. So there you go, guys. Aegis of Valor 110, not many ancients, 0 augments, 800 paragon, ridiculously OP. If you guys enjoyed the build, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. My Twitter is @thepchild, twitch.tv/thepchild. Come check me out. I stream 6 days a week, Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Central, Saturdays at 11 p.m. I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. Peace.